Welcome back to Hogwarts. We will be continuing the adventures of Rupert, Lorelou, Marvin, and Elliot. And, well, I think we are going to jump right in with Marvin and Elliot's detention. But before we do, let's ask around if we know Marvin and Elliot is going on detention. But let's go around and see if any of the others have gotten themselves into trouble. Um, so, Rupert, do you think you have done anything that deserves detention?
No,
Nope.
never. Not Rupert. He
Not
never
Rupert.
does anything wrong.
Intentionally.
Not intentionally, but he does have certain traits that doesn't belong in the Slytherin house. He perhaps if he sees someone in need, someone who's clearly being caught doing something wrong, but it's not necessarily so bad, he might take the blame for it. If it's someone in need, perhaps someone who cries a lot, like Dimitra.
Yeah, that is interesting. So I think actually that would be a situation that would be likely to occur in the last few days. So uh, while Rupert was off screen last session, we saw we can let's just have a short scene with Rupert and Dimitra, where do you think you are? It's probably not the common room since you're unlikely to be spotted by a teacher there.
Probably in the library, I think.
Yeah.
Or
so that's good. Let's so you walk up to the library. I think it's probably fairly late in the evening. It's not after dark. It's not after you're supposed to be in bed or anything. But the library is quiet, and there's well, you can see Dimitra sitting by herself in a sort of far corner of the library, one of the least visible corners of the library, and she has this big stack of books in front of her, and you can see that she's clearly crying.
I think Rupert walks up to her, and he gently pushes the sack of books slightly away from her face, saying, "Oh, shouldn't I can't handle the water, the moisture. Is should be a little bit careful with these books."
And so, are you trying to do something specific here, or?
I think Rupert is trying to just make a connection and lighten the mood.
All right.
So yeah, I think he says it in maybe a joking manner.
Let's
All
have
right.
a roll for this.
Yeah.
Um, so
Perhaps help or
let's
hinder someone.
um sure, sure. That is that works. All
Yeah.
right. Roll plus loyalty. And I don't think they are a friend or a rival, so it's just a straight roll.
Hmm. So I roll 2d6.
Yep, plus
Right.
your loyalty score.
Fem, seks, sju, åtte. 9. I got 9.
9. All right.
Hmm.
So that means you choose one, take a condition in the process. They're accidentally hurt in the process. They are upset with you for doing so. They are suspicious of your motives. So one of those.
Well, we already did it once with the sister, so let's do the suspicious one again with the younger one.
Okay, so she sort of looks at you, scans. It's a, this is a weird thing to say.
Sorry, I speak a lot of gibberish when I'm nervous. I'm sort of on a secret mission. You know,
Oh,
perhaps try to recruit someone for something exciting. You know,
like what?
Rupert looks around like not like to see if anyone hears him, but he's searching for something. Perhaps an answer to the question because he has no clue. There was no secret mission before he told her. He sees the sign for what do you call it? The section that's forbidden for first graders.
Session.
The restricted section, and he points towards the restricted section and just nods like nervously towards it.
And right as you do that, you can see there are a couple of other people here in the library. They are over right over on the far side, where the restricted section is. It's Elliot actually, and Elliot is talking to the librarian, and it seems like they're having a sort of heated conversation. Elliot is. It sounds like he's demanding to get the book.
See, that's my friend over there. You can see he's already distracting the librarian. We can just sneak in and grab whatever forbidden knowledge we like.
Don't really think that's a good idea, do you?
But, you know, we can read up upon stuff, you know, that we're not supposed to know yet. So when we come at that stage, you know, the test that asks us a question about something we're not supposed to know, we're already prepared. So we'll impress the teachers, get better grades. What's there to wonder about?
But they're right there. They won't get caught. And as you say, as she says that, you can hear a loud crash as a teacher who has just walked into the library has dropped a bottle of it looks like wine or something, and and he looks looks at Elliot and speaks in a voice that sounds very upset. You can't really hear what he's saying, but something about a club or something like that. And then shortly thereafter, he leaves, and the librarian escorts Elliot out of the library. The coast is clear.
Oh, Rupert is already soaking in sweat. He's visibly nervous. And sort of take some unsure steps away from Dimitra. Well, if you don't, if you're not comfortable doing it, then maybe we should wait to I don't know. There's plenty of books to read. I see you have a giant stack. No problem. I'm just.
You can see that all of the books have something to do with. Well, it's all about the dark arts and dark wizards and stuff like that. It's, but of course, they're not from the restricted section, and the really interesting stuff is all in there. And suddenly, it's as if the Mitra just lets all her worries go. And she's right in front of you. She's already started moving toward the restricted section. She doesn't look back. She just goes right in.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Oh yeah. Yeah. Great. And Rupert's just following, like halfway running behind her.
And as you walk past the door, you can see that the librarian, she's coming back. It's you will never make it into the restricted section and out again. But the Mitra has already entered.
I can we pretend I have made a potion already?
What do you have in mind?
I'm thinking that Rupert is going to run after her. Oh shit! No, sorry. I don't have the knowledge for that potion. Anyway, also chosen wrong memory. That's from another year. Never mind. I think if Rupert follows her, he's not going to. Then they both will be caught. So I think Rupert is trying to just make a huge distraction. Had he been a better wizard, he would of course use the spell, but he can't. So he just takes his arm into one of the bookshelves and tries to tear down as many books as he can. But I think he's so nervous, he slips and doesn't hit the books. He hits the bookshelf, and the entire section just goes right in front of him, maybe knocking down something else.
Yeah, all right. So you cause a big ruckus, and right as the librarian walks in, she sees, this absolute chaos, and you're standing there. She's caught you red-handed. That's at least I think 20 points of Slytherin.
Oh.
And
It's all Slytherin has
You're
earned
right.
until now.
Price one pays for unlimited power.
So
Or in this case, not so.
it's great. You have have managed to get yourself into detention and managed to get a poor young girl into the dark arts.
The corruption begins.
Zorlu, what do you think? Do you think is there any reason why you might be in detention? Or
Is missing half potions lesson enough to get into detention?
Well, depends upon the teacher and the reason for the reason you have missed the lesson, I guess.
Well, the reason is she just got lost in thoughts while thinking about the cup, and there was no one in the room, so she was really concentrated, and she just forgot that there was a lesson, and that this is the reason why there's no one in the Hufflepuff room. So when she realized already half the lesson was over, then she had to find the room. So when she finally arrived, almost all the lesson was over.
Nice. I think maybe I should do you one better. Because when you were thinking about the cup, something happened. The cup. Where do you keep the cup, by the way?
When I'm not there, I keep it in the what's the name, the luggage, where I put my luggage, which I brought from home. I have it under my bed, and I just put it inside together with some clothes. But I took it out to think about it, and I had it in my hand.
Nice. So after you had sat there and thoughts, lost in thought, just staring at this golden cup. It's quite beautiful, really. It's good craftsmanship, and it looks. There's something about it that looks. It's not just beautiful; it looks practical. It looks, and it feels like this would be a cup that would be. It would be a good cup to drink from, and there's something about it that gives you the sense that it has been used for exactly this purpose many times in the past. There's also something about the cup that just makes it easy to get lost in thought. It's almost as if the cup is itself is calling to your thoughts, it's calling to them, telling you that it's okay to be lost in thought and memories. A cup is used to have memories, thoughts swirling around inside it. And as you look down into its golden hollow, it starts to fill up with a sort of ghostly white liquid. It's calling to you. It moves. And as you stare into it, you feel yourself getting dragged down deep into its contents, and you suddenly find yourself somewhere else. It's in a place that feels old, different, yet somehow familiar. Hmm. Let's have a round of what's called paint the scene, where you all contribute something to the scene here. So this is uh, more than 1,000 years ago, and it's a memory, as you've maybe gathered. Tell us something, something that's part of the scene, or is just some. It can be just something as simple as like a way that this is filmed, if it was a movie. Something about something that tells us that this is from the years of when the founders of Hogwarts were still alive, and and it's before Hogwarts was founded. Martin, do you have anything?
Well, it's a memory, right? So you see it from the point of view of either a wizard or a witch. You're not sure. It's a magical person. And they're inside a giant dark tower standing the top floor. There's no ceiling, and the magical person puts its wand towards the sky. You can hear giant thunder booms, and the sky just blackens out.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Stefan, do you have a detail for us?
In the sky, where this wizard has pointed his wand, we see it's like the sky opens into a window, and we see a young man he's well built, he's tall, he looks regal in a way, and he's holding a sword with jewels and a beautiful sword, and we can hear whispering from the mirror. We hear, here is your enemy, here is your opposite.
Okay. Torben, do you have a detail for us?
The sword that the man is carrying, the jewel, it has it has jewels on the one end, on the end where it is held by the guy, and when the wizard points at the mirror, these jewels begin to flare, and the man looks directly into the direction of the onlookers.
All right, Sophie, do you have a detail for us? Doesn't have to be anything about the story or anything. It can just be
No, sorry,
something.
I don't have something.
It's okay. So you find yourself in this tower, and you have just seen. Well, you see this mirror with a man, the muscular, handsome man with a sword, and you see a woman. It's a woman is looking into the mirror. She she turns around. She looks annoyed, and then there's a noise. There's another woman there. And this woman looks well. There's you get a feeling like you can trust this woman. She's not as stern and cold as the woman in front of the mirror. She doesn't have her wand out or anything, but the woman in front of the mirror, she turns on her, points her wand at her, and looks her eyes are deadly. Then she slowly lowers her wand and says, Helga, why are you here? And Helga responds, It's okay for old friends to visit one another, isn't it? It's it's been so long. No, I missed you. Are we still friends, Helga? I guess. But there's something about you. Yes. You're hiding something. You didn't just come here for a friendly chat. And you can see the figure in the mirror. He puts down his sword and the woman turns around to look at him. She nods to herself. Huh? Of course. They've done something stupid, haven't they? I knew it would happen. And you can see Helga. She starts fidgeting and says, well, you know there's nothing that can constrain them, especially after you turned him down as a skip. Nothing to keep him tied down anymore. It's Salazar as well. They've gone and they found something truly special, Rowena, and dangerous as well. We need you. We need you to come back. And Rowena just shakes her head. I'm done. I'm never talking to those idiots again. And there's nothing you can say that will convince me otherwise. Helga looks stricken, and then she looks up. She walks up to Rowena and stands in front of the mirror. And for a moment, we can see something there. We can see a castle. A great castle with hundreds of children running about, learning magic. And she says, we could still do it, you know. Our dream. We could build it. And this might be the thing that lets us do it. I think they've found the unborn. And as she says that, Rowena looks at her and as if trying to bore through her eyes and look right into her brain. She seems satisfied. Well then, why didn't you say so? If they've found one of the last godlings, there's nothing else to do. And she walks, she turns around and grabs Helga by the shoulder and says, but there will be no school. and then she turns on the spot, and they both disapparate. That's when you wake up, Lorelu, with your cup still in your hands, and the entire day gone by. You've lost. You've been late to all of your lessons, and
Oh.
you've gotten detention. Congratulations. All right. Let's.
Congratulations, competitor! You won detention.
Let's have a short break. So you are all in detention, and it just so happens that the gamekeeper, Hagrid, has got a job in the Forbidden Forest that needs attending to, and you have all been assigned to be his assistants for this detention. So let's well, you're supposed to meet Hagrid after school outside his hut. I don't think you've ever been there before, any of you. But who's there first? Does anyone go?
Rupert is always early, of course, specifically for a detention. He doesn't want to break any more rules.
Yeah. So you stand there in front of the large or fairly small, I guess, cabin, the cabbage patch on one side, and well, I don't know how you feel about Hagrid. He's kind of big and scary looking, and you can hear the barking of a large dog inside. He doesn't come out to greet you yet. You're a bit early, of course. And behind the hut, there's the dark forest. It's large, looming and intimidating trees. It's dark and troubling interior. What's going through your head as you stand there waiting?
I think Rupert is still very upset about getting detention, and he's not really focusing so much on the creepy forest, but that he is early this time. He wants to show it off, so even though he's very early, he knocks on Hagrid's door to show, of course, that he's early.
And Elliot is right behind him, and he's making sure that Marvin doesn't feel too good about it, because Elliot, it was clearly your fault. Why did I get it in detention in the first place? You shouldn't mess up like that. You have to become better if we want to stay friends.
And Marvin is sort of just like curled a bit in on himself, and he's like, "I'm sorry."
You better be sorry.
I tried to tell the teacher.
Maybe you should talk a bit with that Rupert guy. He seems to be a little more. He seems to be a little better at doing sneaky things.
So, to be clear, you are angry because I wasn't sneaky enough.
Yes.
All right then.
Why do you look so bewildered?
Well, I would have thought you would have been angry because what I did was amoral and wrong. I
Oh,
tried to like go around the teacher's back.
oh,
It was horrible of me.
yeah,
but
that
I
was
so
horrible. It's
scared and
really scary and horrible. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Now that you pointed out, I can clearly see what you mean.
And then the door opens, and you see Hagrid's large shaggy head stick out, bends his head low to get out the door. Oh, there you are. It's 3 of you. Where's the 4th one?
I just come running.
All right.
Who
then.
are you?
Whoa. Oh, I'm Hagrid. I'm the gamekeeper routes. Been there for a long time, I have.
Oh, are you a giant?
Don't know about that.
Oh my God, Marvin!
Giant-
you can't just
giants
ask
are
people if they're a
big.
giant.
But he's
Oh, don't worry. Never mind that. There's no shame in being giants. I know. I've talked with several giants.
Yeah.
Some of them are nice
there
fellas.
is nothing wrong with that. He's just really big. So you know, I
Point it out, Marvin. That's not polite.
but I'm sure he knows.
Oh, never mind that. Can't get caught up in chit chat. Where we have a job to do. And Hagrid has got his crossbow on his back, and Fang in front of him, and says, "Well, there's been something mighty weird going on in the forest. You see, strange creatures about. More than strange, really. There's always been all sorts of magical creatures in the forest, of course, but lately there have been a number that I haven't never seen put my eyes on before. So we're all to walk about and take a note of anything strange we might see. Also, there's one place in the forest that seem to have lost. So if you if any of you happen to be to see a sort of stump, it's maybe a sort of dead tree of some sort. I left something on that. A pouch. Shouldn't be hard to recognize if you happen to see it. It's a finely made pouch. Has the letters RH soon onto them. Well, I lost it, so and I can't seem to find it again. I know I put it down on the stump, but for some reason I can't seem to find it again. And I know these woods.
Okay. Did you place it there on purpose?
Well, yes, I put it down there and then.
No. I meant, did you place it so that we can find it there?
Oh no!
Part of a riddle
I didn't
or
lose
something.
it on purpose.
We get extra credits for finding it.
Well, you get some. You'll get some points, I'm sure.
Oh no.
What kind of strange creatures have you been talking about?
Well, you'll see. I reckon. They're mighty strange.
Do any of them fly?
Yes, I reckon some of them do.
Oh,
It's,
Hagrid, sir, I've been wondering, there's a lot of, I'm reading a lot of on the magical creatures in the forests, and you see, I have this big problem. I haven't got a pet yet for to spend time with me here at Hogwarts, and I'm wondering if there's if I find like a really, really cool magical creature or animal in the woods, could I adopt it? Are we
you
allowed
see
to do that?
Hagrid's face sort of just light up, and he turns to you. Haven't got a pet, eh? It's mighty painful. No, I'm not supposed to. Students aren't supposed to have anything but like pets that are um, recognized by the ministry as appropriate pets. But I can't see any harm coming of you finding something a tad more interesting in the forest here.
Rupert looks at Marvin and just nods, excessively.
Just bring if you find something, just bring it along to me, and I'll see if it's suitable.
Brilliant, sir. Brilliant.
just out of character, this could go horribly wrong.
We're gonna have fun.
Let's split up, shall we, to cover more ground.
Is that wise?
mm,
Who goes with you?
I go with
Well,
Hagrid.
all right then.
Right, also.
It's you and you. Yes.
I think Rupert just stands next to Torben. No, sir, Elliot.
Here you go. Take Fang, and he hands you the Fang's leash.
Oh, classic.
Rupert whispers into Elliot's ear. He can smell really good, and he's living with Hagrid. So we're definitely going to find the bag first.
Okay. Yeah. I trust in your ability to handle animals here. Don't disappoint me again.
Anything for extra credits.
And Hagrid starts to head off in one direction, and calls out after you, Rupert and Elliot. Just remember, if you see anything that looks out of place or just plain weird, be sure to make a note of it.
I'm making a note of it. Rupert calls back.
Hope people aren't getting murdered on detention every fucking year, isn't it good, man?
Okay, let's have a look at Marvin and Elliot's trip through the forest here.
I thought it was
Yeah.
Rupert that went with Elliot.
Sorry. Rupert and Elliot.
And Fang. Let's not forget Fang.
Of course.
I was kind of scared to do that scene, when Malfoy chooses Fang, and then it turns out that Fangs is a coward.
Yep. So you walk through the forest, and it's quite dark. Even though the light was out, or the sun was had yet to set, when you entered the forest, the large canopy above blocks out most of the sun, and the ground is kind of moist, and the trees make it hard to see more than just a few meters ahead. How do you feel?
Confident, because we have a giant dog, and I have Elliot by my side.
What about you, Elliot?
I think since Elliot grew up partially in Transylvania, he's used to dark places and dark forests and stuff like that. So he's not overly concerned about this, but he's not in the best mood, obviously, especially because I think this is a silly game that he's playing with us. I don't trust that he really forgot his pouch there. It's kind of a test, I guess.
It's not only a test, Elliot. It's a competition.
Yeah.
We have to find it first. We have to prove that we are the superior wizards.
Okay.
Yes.
And then we gain 5 points for
but
a house.
It's not just 5 points. It's winning over someone else.
Okay.
Yeah.
Winning over someone else from Hufflepuff of all houses.
Yeah, so it should be really embarrassing if you lose, Elliot.
That's actually an argument. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're on the same page again.
Yeah, good. Have you ever walked around with a dog before, or know anything about the Forbidden Forest? Anything that can help us?
The librarian sabotaged my attempts of getting more information out of the library, unfortunately.
Yeah. Sort of, me too, I guess. She's pretty strict, that librarian.
But
So
maybe Marvin knows something about this, because I mean his family is into this owl thing and animal stuff, and this Hagrid guy seems to also be into this animal stuff. So maybe
they do sort of look animalistic, both of them.
Yeah.
Or avianetic. I'm not sure.
All animal lovers are part of a cult.
Yeah.
It's a big conspiracy, I can tell
that. To urge on Fang, I think I'm gonna shoo on Fang, go find your master's thing, or whatever you call it. Yeah.
And he sort of just whines a bit and looks up at you. And we cut over to Marvin, who at this time looks a lot like an owl. Marvin and Lurelu, walking along deeper into the forest with Hagrid, and he's threading carefully, looking around for anything that might be interesting. What sort of yep.
I was just gonna be, so Mr. Hagrid, sir, if you don't mind me asking, what's your favorite flying creature?
Oh, lots to choose from there. Oh, thestrals and hippogriffs and well, I have to go with dragons. Mighty fine creatures they are.
Oh, I've never seen a dragon before.
Oh, well, I've seen a few. I nearly fell in love with one once.
Oh.
Tell the truth, I've always wanted to have a dragon.
Isn't there some old stories about people riding dragons into battle?
Yeah. It's fairy tales. There's no dragon would let something as silly as people be riding on their backs.
But dragons would let themselves be owned by something as silly as people?
That's a good point there. But maybe a dragon would let me be its mother. There's orphans and all among all kinds of creatures. And I'd be willing to take them all in.
I think my mother always told me that the Department of Magical Creatures has some quite strict restrictions on extraordinary animals like dragons.
Yes, they have restrictions on everything. Mighty nosy buggers they are. Wait a minute. I think I hear something. And
what is it?
You can hear a sort of clicking noise, as if a large number of legs are moving rapidly across the ground.
Is that an insect of some kind? Or multiple?
I don't know. This doesn't sound like any creature I've ever seen in the forest before. That's exactly what we're looking for. Something out of the ordinary.
Does it sound like a crowd of people?
Are you asking Hagrid or asking,
No, it's out of character. I'm just trying to analyze the sound.
Well, it's like if it was a crowd of people who only spoke in clicks, maybe.
Definitely giving me an insect vibe.
So are any of you it sounds to me like you're sort of trying to listen and use your senses.
Yeah, I could go with that.
So give me a roll of gain knowledge.
Gain knowledge.
One of you.
That's what does that use again? Intellect. There we go. Plus intellect. Yeah. I can't remember which dice were mine, but I'm guessing the blue ones.
They match your house color.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's the rule.
Don't take the red ones. Those are.
Okay, that's gonna be 8 plus 3, so 11.
Good.
Finally get a good roll for the first time in a while.
All right, so you get to ask some questions.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, you ask one question. It doesn't have to be among those on the list, but it's a good place to start.
Honestly, I want to go for like a modified version of could I say like what is the thing I'm looking for instead of where, or is that too specific?
No, you can ask that. So, how are you going about doing this? I guess just by.
I would imagine Marvin has unusually sharp eyes, and he's going to sort of climb a little bit up, and I imagine we're like walking. There's a lot of roots and big trees and stuff like that, so it's hard to find line of sight. But he's sort of going to clamber onto some sort of roots or vines or some place to get a bit of an elevated position and then look around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as you do so, you clearly see just right across small ridge. There's it's like the ground is just boiling. It's there's what looks like a millipede of just incredible length. It's not really that big, or it's not really that wide, but it's just incredibly long, and it's sort of walking around in a constant spiral, or it's walking around and around, and it looks like first it looks like you think it might be like just a swarm of millipedes, but it's actually just one incredibly long millipede that just fills up the entire forest floor in a large radius. And
Hagrid? I think I found it. Over there. Huge millipede.
oh, blimey, you're right. This is a really long little fella. Well, this something's happened to this little one. It's all tangled up in itself. I guess we need to try and help it. It's we can't just let it tie itself into a knot, can we?
I guess we can't. And sort of reluctantly, because he's a lot more of a fan of the flying part of the fauna. He's going to try to help Hagrid untie this thing.
Lorelu.
It's not like he's directly squeamish, but yeah.
How large is it? About?
It's well, it's sort of about the size of 2 fingers, but it's from the looks of it, it's at least a kilometer long, just all tied up into itself. And it's walking around in sort of circles around itself. So it's just tying itself into a giant knot.
It's 2 fingers large, just like a long rope is a knot. Did I get it right?
It's a lot like a very long rope, yeah.
Yeah, a long rope with lots of legs.
Lots and lots
Okay.
and lots of legs.
I'm hesitant.
Yeah. So Hagrid just walks right over the ridge and starts to sort of lift the thing here and there, as you two hesitate, and I guess Marvin goes after him after a short while.
Yeah.
Rupert and Elliot.
And Fang.
And
Fang. Of course.
And forget the most adorable one.
Elliot,
Most
you said...
intelligent one. Sorry.
You said earlier, Elliot, that you weren't particularly scared. Like dark forests and dark creatures don't especially unsettle you. Is there any kind of creature that would unsettle you? What would make you most uncomfortable here?
There are kinds of creatures like angels, or creatures that are particularly good in nature, maybe.
Yeah. So
unicorn could be, no, not sure.
You see a sort of light flicker across the trees. Little well, and just a few meters in front of you, there's some kind of bluish light flickers across the tree trunks, and Fang looks up and his tails and ears sort of perk up a little bit, and he starts barking excitedly.
Not sure about this.
Do you both see it, or
yes, yes. This is something that happens in the forest with you. And then you can hear a sort of song. It's a very comforting, beautiful melody. It's it sounds a bit like a flute. What do you do?
We have to go investigate, Elliot.
Yes, so.
You hear that?
The dog seems to like it. So I guess we can have him go first.
Yeah, it won't be dangerous, I think. Come on, Fang. I scratch the dog behind the ear and sort of push him a little bit in front of us.
And then as you walk a few steps forward, you can see it there among the branches. It's a tiny little bird It's and it glows. It glows. It's all of its feathers glow in different colors, mainly blue and silver. And it as it lands and opens its beak, and this magical, beautiful sound comes out, and it lands on a branch quite close to you. It's just the most beautiful sound you've ever heard. What do you do?
I think Rupert will just sit down in front of it and listen to the song. Torben?
I think Elliot will try not to get too close to it. He looks suspiciously at it and is not so sure about it. Rupert, we got to be careful.
But it's such a lovely song.
Yeah,
Don't
but
scare
what
the
if
bird.
it is some kind of witchery going on here, like some kind of witch masking as a nicely singing bird?
Oh,
And
every
it's going to eat us or something like that.
every creature that lures you in with a beautiful song and eats you is ugly. Look at this beautiful, beautiful thing.
Have you never read about the sirens and what they do? They they sit on rocks and lure sailors into their clutches, and this can be something like that.
Oh, just enjoy it. It's no problem.
Uh,
I think Fang tastes better than us. It's not a problem. Just sit down, enjoy the concert.
I let you and Fang sit down and watch it from a little, so somebody can tell your tale if something happens, you know.
That's
That's
sweet.
one.
And the bird keeps singing, and then it sort of stops and cocks its head, and it hops along sideways along the branch. And as it hops, for each hop, it sort of just, it's like it leaves a picture of itself until there are 3 of it, and then each little bird flies towards each of you. One lands on top of Pang's head, and he it's like struggles to look at it. You can see his eyes sort of just almost roll back into his head as he tries to look at it. And one lands on your shoulder, and it starts to sing right next to you. And one flies over to you, Elliot, and you can sort of feel it's there's like a rush of warmth inside you as it approaches, and it flies around you, trying to look for a place to land.
Okay, and Elliot moves a little bit around, trying to limit the available places to land, and he's taking out his wand. Stay away from me. Do you hear me?
Don't scare it. Just look at Fang. He's not scared. He's not bothered. If he was scared, we should have probably something to worry about. But it's not. I try to pet the little bird on the shoulder.
Let's have you roll approach a magical creature.
Both of us, or
I don't know if what Elliot is
I
doing
think
could be called
only you should
approaching.
roll
No.
for this.
Oh.
Yes.
let's see. Where is it?
It's
There it is. Okay.
3 moves. Yeah.
Roll plus loyalty. It's always loyalty for me. And 6. Shoot. 7.
know-
Yes. You pick one.
The creature acts as you want, but you take an additional character. Yeah, I think the creature doesn't act as you want, but it does something else helpful. Would be fun.
Yeah. All right. So you wanted this for a pet, didn't you?
Yeah, I think so. I think he wants anything. He's desperate for a pet.
So I think the bird it just sort of hops as close to your face as it can, and it pokes out its little beak and just sort of pecks at your ear, and it seems to catch on to something, and it drags it out, and you can see a sort of silvery vapor come out of your ear, or maybe it's your just your temple. It waves it around in front of it a little bit, and then gobbles it up, and just in the seconds before it vanishes, you can see a little picture of that of the stump and the bag, and Hagrid's bag, just as you pictured it in your head, and the bird chirps and takes off and starts flying through the forest, and as you are sort of just waving around your with your wand, the birds that are with you and with Fang, they just pop out of existence, and the remaining bird it seems to want you to follow it.
Towards the satchel or the bag? They were all flying towards the bag, or were they flying somewhere else?
It's only one of them now, and it's just flying out into the forest, and it's chirping at you to make you follow it.
I think Rupert, he doesn't say anything or even senses that Elliot or Fang is close by. He just guns for the bird.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Elliot lets out a deep sigh and follows with some space in between. And he has still his wand out and is ready to explode into action should that bird do something mean.
All right. So let's cut back to Marvin and Lorelu. And are you going to help Lorelu, or are you just staying out of this?
I'm struggling with myself. So right now I'm not yet in the state to help.
All right. So I think Marvin, you and Hagrid are by now you're just knee deep in millipede. It seems like the more you work on it, the worse it gets, and it's as if well, you get the suspicion, Marvin, that it's as it's walking, it's actually just growing instead of like moving just normally. It's the thing that's happening is that every time it puts its legs down, it just grows another pair of legs, and grows another segment of its body, and it just keeps getting longer and longer and longer. And this is going to be a task that will take forever, literally.
Hagrid. Hagrid. I think there's something wrong here.
You don't say. There's a millipede in great distress.
But I think it's gotten longer.
It's just nonsense. It's long enough. It's long enough already, isn't it?
Here, let me show you. And I'm gonna try to cast Lumos and like just specifically like just show him in brighter light if he can see if the millipede is growing.
Is this a spell you're like practiced with?
Yeah, it's one of the ones I'm practiced with.
Yeah, I'm just asking if you're. I know you know it, but are you sort of confident in casting it, or do you think this should be a roll?
No, Lumos is something Marvin has cast a lot, specifically to read at night. But yeah.
All right, so you cast Lumos and show Hagrid that this millipede is growing, and this will be an endless task.
Well, I try to get him to see, like, it's up to him if he chooses to acknowledge it, you know. He's Hagrid after all.
So
I want
Yeah.
to take out my wand too. If I notice this, I don't know. Do I notice from afar? I'm standing maybe 4 meters behind.
Yeah, sure. There's no problem in noticing that.
And I want to try a spell too that we can do Marvin first.
Well, then Marvin just does what he said. So he lights the millipede up, and the Hagrid looks closer and looks. You can see Marvin was holding a bunch of millipede in his hand, and Hagrid with his great shaggy head just bend down deep to get low enough to look into Marvin's hand. And so what do you do, Laura?
I want to cast Finite Incantatem, but it's not a spell I can do yet, but maybe we have started to practice it because it's the first year.
Wait, are you casting that on my incantation or?
I'm casting it on the being.
Yeah, it's a good idea actually.
That's actually interesting.
It's a counter spell, right?
Yeah,
that's a little bit. I guess it's a spell to make spell-like effects stop. That's what it's. That's what it's for.
So if someone or something has enchanted this millipede, that would be a really clever. Yeah.
So yeah, you don't know this spell from before. You can choose this as your one of the spells you know, since you haven't chosen them already, if you want.
Why not? That's useful. Let's just do it.
So go ahead and roll cast a spell.
Okay, this would be 6 + 1.
So 7?
Yeah.
Nice. Then you you can choose. The effect isn't as powerful as it should be. The effect doesn't last as long as it should. You attract unwanted attention.
I think the unwanted attention is probably because I will speak very loud and clearly. Finite Incantatem.
Nice. So what happens is quite abrupt and quite spectacular. Actually, you can see the millipede. It starts to retract, and it's like watching one of those those rulers that just like snap back into their that curl back into their little house if you push the button. It's that, just with a millipede that's kilometers long and all tangled up. So it creates a large commotion that whirls up a lot of dirt and undergrowth, and this happens all around you, Marvin and Hagrid, of course, and in the end you stand there with your wand lighting up a very ordinary tiny little millipede, and Hagrid looks at it. Oh, that's mighty strange, isn't it?
Quite. Laurelu, did you do that?
It worked! It worked! So can I put it on the list now?
Incredible.
And Hagrid looks up at you and says, "Oh, there's some impressive magic there. Laurelu, was it? You're in what house are you in?"
I'm in Hufflepuff.
Oh, I think 10 points for Hufflepuff is in order.
Yes!
And then you hear the sound of footsteps. No, I mean hooves. Galloping hooves. And in that, we cut to a short break. So, we're back in the forest with Rupert and Elliot. And Rupert, you are hurrying after the bird.
Yeah. Yes, I am. I'm running, and I have Elliot behind me. I think I shout to him, I have a connection with this bird.
And, with this bird. It's not a copycat, it's a copy bird, that's kind of weird. And not in a good way.
It's a magical bird. It has...
Yeah.
It's one, but it's many at the same time. It's so cool. It ate something from me. Isn't that fascinating?
That's actually fascinating, yeah. I haven't seen that before.
Just imagine what we can learn from this bird. And just runs even faster after it.
Elliot is trying to keep pace, but he's also trying to have some room between himself and everyone who runs in front of him, including Fang, probably.
But you distance yourself from everyone, Elliot.
I'm securing our back.
So you run, and you see the bird flies quickly through the air, and then suddenly it vanishes. It's as if it's flown behind a curtain, behind an invisible curtain.
See, great bird.
And then you can still hear its song, its chirps. It starts up. It starts singing as if calling to you.
Listen, Elliot. This is another test. It wants to be found. This is even greater than the Hagrid test. And he starts listening and trying to find its location.
And it seems to come from just right in front of you. There's nothing there, but it's just a patch of ground. But
does it move, or is it stationary?
no, it's completely stationary. It seems to come from just a few meters in front of the place where it vanished.
Okay. Rupert gets on all fours on the ground and starts to move before the sound tries gently to put his hand out.
Hold on.
Yep.
Just as Rupert is trying to do that, Elliot is getting ready with his wand and points at this area that is there, that Rupert is crawling to, and casts Finite Incantatem, which is one of his known spells, and he likes to break stuff, so I guess.
Nice. Let's have you roll for that. Plus magic.
Ooh. That's not good. That's a 5. Spectacular.
5. All right. So you can mark a point of XP.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
I forgot to get XP every time we failed.
That's great.
And
hold on, Rupert. It's dangerous. It seems to have countered my counter magic, so it's very powerful.
It's even more fascinating.
And dangerous.
What happens?
So your spell, it bounds through the air and it hits a point right in front of Rupert, right in front of Fang. Both of their noses are on the same level, right next to each other. And it seems to just hang in the air for a moment. And then it vanishes. And it's very peculiar the way that it vanishes. It is as if there's a great mouth, an invisible mouth in the air that just gobbles the spell up. And you can even hear a kind of swallowing sound. It comes from deep beneath the earth. And after, there's a kind of rumble, tiny earthquake.
Rupert, I don't like this. This is not what birds do, not even invisible birds. Just to inform you.
It's so magnificent.
This is not what invisible birds usually do. This is what scary monsters that can turn into nice-looking little birds probably do. I'm not an expert on scary monsters that can turn invisible and can turn into birds, but
it sounds like you're an expert on invisible birds, actually. It's
yeah, but that would mean that you could listen to me, and I would.
It's done us no harm.
Yeah.
Apart from
maybe
coming.
Do we have something that we can throw at it? Like, we probably have some. Food with us.
I should also say that as the spell was swallowed, the bird song stopped.
Oh, Rupert is just still holding his hand, like out, just waiting and waiting.
So you put your hand out.
Say goodbye to your hand.
And
It's
Well-
the non-wand hand.
nothing happens.
And today,
You wait in vain. There's no bird.
I think
That's
Elliot
very
has
sad.
brought some. I mean, they knew in advance that they might get some detention tasks. So I think Elliot brought some food with him. Is that okay?
Sure.
And so probably some bread with cheese on it or something like that. And he takes out one of those breads, unwraps it, and then he tries to throw it in the direction of the would-be invisible mouth.
So as you throw it through the air, it passes right in front of you, Rupert, and then it vanishes.
Okay. Do you want that to happen to your hand?
Elliot, it's just an invisibility spell. Oh, I was so angry with you, but now you've proven it's still here. It's friendly.
Yeah, and
it's just scared. You scared it.
I
Okay.
don't think I scared it, honestly.
Imagine what this creature can do. It's so powerful. It can eat up spells. It's invisible. Imagine
Yeah.
if that was you, if you had that power.
Yeah.
You just continually
Pretty
nudges his hand
scary.
towards the area.
And Elliot takes a few steps back and goes into a defensive position.
Yes, just keep going back, Elliot.
Rupert, this is
Don't
not a
scare
good
it anymore.
idea.
Okay, I'm gonna try to make the bird call. I'm gonna try to sound like the bird.
Okay.
Okay, so don't throw any magic on me. I know
Okay,
it's
okay.
perfect
You're not
imitation,
possessed or
but I'm not
something
a
like
bird.
that.
I'm not a bird.
Okay.
Just gonna try.
And it
all
hasn't
right?
worked any magic on you yet, right? Right? You're in full control of yourself. You're just a little bit dumb, right?
His eyes flicker back and forth just really quickly, and yeah, of course, perfectly all right. Nothing wrong here. And then Rupert is going to try to imitate a bird song.
All right. Let's have you all get what you seek with this. I think this is charisma, so roll plus bravery.
Mhm. Yeah, 5. He's not a brave person.
Well,
Yeah.
mark a point of XP, and we'll cut away to Laura Lou and Marvin and Hagrid and the approaching centaur. So there's an earth-shaking clap approaches you, Laura Lou.
that sounds like some sort of horse-like creature.
And
Oh, sorry,
Hagrid,
that was maybe Lorelu. That should have, but yeah.
Hagrid looks up at you and nods and says, "Well, it would be a centaur. I'd best keep quiet about those sort of things when they're around. I don't like being compared to horses and stuff." And you both see the majestic half horse, half human that approaches Laura Lou out of the forest. He looks down on you, Laura Lou. He's quite big, quite menacing, and it's very quiet. His eyes pierce you as if they can look straight into your soul. What do you do?
I will make some. I will stumble some steps backwards in a mixture of fear and amazement, and some steps just to Hagrid, direction Hagrid, and just watch the creature with big eyes. And I still have the wand in my hand, but I'm not. But I don't have it risen. I have it like lowered.
Hello, little witch.
Hello.
What business do you have in our forest today?
We're here with Hagrid.
And Hagrid shakes his head and waves and oh, that's right. That's you're with me. It's this is all right. This is all right. Let's see what's. Let's just find a name for this center before we continue. So we can. Should this be Firenze?
Firenze, I seem to recall he wasn't very human friendly.
Firenze was the friendly one.
He was? Oh yeah.
It was Ronan and Bane which were the problems.
That's
Yeah.
the one.
So this can, I'll let it be up to you. It can be Firenze, or it can be some other center that does not appear in the books. It's up to you. What do you think?
Maybe let's make a new one. Otherwise, there will come the impression that there are just 3 centaurs in the forest.
Yes, that's good. I like that. What's a good name?
Bob.
No.
Bob Tower.
Give it a Norse name. I like them. I think it could fit.
Yeah. So not Torben.
Not Björn.
There are no other Norse names. No, let's.
There's a centaur name generator online.
I think his name is Bobir.
What do you say?
Bobir.
Just Bob with some fancy suffixes. Bobier.
His friends call him Bob. This is why he's called Bob.
Yeah. We could do that, or we could.
We could ask the centaur name generator.
What about the boar?
We could Bard. Yeah, let's just call him Bard. It has a nice dual meaning in English, or not even just in English. So let's just say.
And board apparently means meaning of names.
Yeah, let's call him Bard, because board sounds weird in English. So we'll stick with the double meaning of Bard instead of board. That's nice. That's nice. Okay, so Bard the centaur. So Hagrid waves at him and says, Bard, is it? We mean no trespass. We're just here to sort some things out, and there have been some strange goings on with the creatures in the forest, like this here millipede that Lorlo put to rest or helped out here. It was making a real mess of itself, and Bard is still keeps his eyes on you, Lorlo. Just barely acknowledging Hagrid's presence or Hagrid's words, but he says, "Yes, indeed, the creatures have been acting up of late.
I think
There's something going on here, some ancient magic, or perhaps something even beyond magic. And you are at its center, Lorelo.
Me?
Yes.
I was not aware to use ancient magic. It more felt like a simple spell.
Ancient magic isn't something that is used, but it is something that uses you. It moves us all.
I'm trying to look around to the others and make a grin to see if it's a joke, right?
Are you ready for fate?
Depends on the fate.
I don't think he's joking, Lorlo. He's a stargazer. They all are. That means they can see things in the sky.
And Bard looks at you with his piercing eyes. Says, "Oh, the owl. I didn't see you there at first. 2 of the 4. This is a happy sign." Let me have a look at the creature. The creature you just helped.
Is Hagrid holding the millipede, or did it end up with Marvin?
It's in your hand still.
Okay. Well. Yeah. I'm gonna stretch out my hands and show it to him.
Oh. It's dead. Oh.
Oh.
Fate isn't kind to all of us.
Did not mean to kill it.
You merely set it free.
Do you know who hexed it, or cursed it, or?
It is not a who.
Ah. Old powers. Okay.
You will know before too long. It is written.
I don't mean to be rude, but sometimes it's nice to get more than cryptic answers.
I think you're trying to gain knowledge again there.
Yeah, probably. Let's go with it. Let's see here.
You can also maybe make sense to say approach a magical creature here, but
Okay, I want to do gain knowledge if I can, because that's where my stat is. So,
yeah.
but it's up to you.
Let's do gain knowledge. It's this is
Yeah.
quite clearly that. So.
Oh wow, would have been sweet either way. 10 plus 3, 13.
All right. So ask me a question.
Let's see. How do I make this useful? Which I know it's
It's a
bit
robot
cheap.
question.
Yeah. How do I
Bard
make
looks at you and stays silent for longer than is comfortable, staring into your eyes.
Marvin is just starting to sweat. It's like dripping. Cool sweat.
Then he smiles and says, "Do not think that I do not understand emotions, impatience. I have also waited a long time for my own destiny. If you seek answers, look to the dead."
Is very informative of you, actually. Thank you, Stargazer.
And
What is this destiny? What you're talking about? Just curious.
and Barda is about to leave. He's already turned his great body around, looks over his shoulder at you, and says, "It's the destiny of Hogwarts. Its origin, its purpose, its future. Goodbye." And he gallops off into the forest.
Goodbye, it was nice to meet you.
We are very lucky we did not offend him. My grandmother always talked about centaurs. And apparently they have a temper.
Well, now it's about time we be heading back. Uh, it's never good to linger once
One
you
moment,
rouse the
please.
centaurs.
One moment, please. I just want to. He said it's dead. Can I see it?
Oh, yes. Hand it to her, Marvin.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold it up to her. Not gonna dump it in her hands just in case she's squeamish. So
No, she's struggling with herself, but then she will take it in her hands, and she will
okay,
just
yeah.
Try to make sense of it, or try to understand, because maybe it's just something she has killed while she wanted to save it.
I don't mean to be presumptuous, but I do believe you might have saved it a great deal of pain. It did not look like it was happy, to be sure. And if it would have kept on growing and growing and growing, I think it was best that we cut it off. Even if saving it would have been the very best thing.
He said if we seek answers, we need to watch the dead. Maybe there's an answer in this.
It may very well be. Sometimes things can be a lot more obvious than you think. Let's bring it to the castle.
I don't think I would rather. Let's bury it here. Let's just make a very small grave in the leaves.
Okay.
It belongs in the forest. It's no sense to bring it in the castle.
All right. You could sort of see it pains him a little bit because like this is knowledge maybe being lost, but
And as you bury the millipede, Hagrid puts his fingers into his mouth and blows a great whistle. Rupert and Elliot, you hear something faint, but Fang seems to just burst into motion. He wags his tail and barks and drags you off, Rupert. He runs right into the forest.
Wait, that didn't sound like a bird, that's for sure. You cannot.
That's scary. Let's run the other way. I didn't tell you before because I was so busy with the bird, but I saw the bag. I mean, we didn't learn anything from the bird, but we can still win this. Wouldn't it be great if we met the others and they have done like nothing, and we met a magical creature, and we uncovered the missing bag? We'll be the biggest heroes, man.
I think the problem with most heroes is that they are dead.
They'll be dead if you run towards the noise.
I think I follow Fang in this case.
And River's just standing there like totally lost.
But I can tell the others of your fate. So be assured that your parents will know. And they don't have to worry.
Rupert
I hope
has no
it
choice.
ends quick.
He just follows Elliot.
Good. Okay, so you all meet up and go back to Hagrid's hut, and you walk back to the castle from detention together. You can have the short scene of you getting together, walking back if you like, or we can just skip ahead.
Well, I guess it's up to I know Marvin at least would be very quiet and contemplative while walking back.
And same for me.
Yeah,
I think Rupert will be very insistent that we backtrack towards the bag, so Hagrid can get it back.
And Elliot will hang back a little bit for a while, just to make sure that the others are not some imposters that have been magically transformed or something like that.
So, well, you make Hagrid and everyone take a detour to where you thought you knew where the bag was, but it's just impossible to find anything. It doesn't seem to be anything there, and you all walk back to the castle.
I think we should ask Hagrid about the creature we met and try to figure out what it ate from me.
Well, Hagrid looks at you and says, "Ate something from your brain, did it? It's mighty strange. Well, I hope you've got some left." And sort of knocks you on the head. He thinks gently, but you are just knocked out. You're flat on the ground. Oops.
Well, you're gonna have even less left now.
And well, let's cut there, and I need another short break. I'm back soon.